I want to show you a little tip about V-Carve Pro that may come in handy for you at some point. Um, so with toolpaths, there's a little feature that allows you to do an allowance. So let's say before you cut something, you give it an allowance of a particular distance. Let's say you do 10 thousandths of an inch, 0.01, and so that offsets the shape that you're about to cut by 0.01 when it creates the toolpath. And that way, let's say you're doing multiple passes, you can cut that shape out with multiple passes, and then later you can do another toolpath with no allowance and shave off those edges. So if there's any unevenness in the vertical edges that have been machined, those can be shaved off and trimmed off, and you have a nice smooth edge. But what happens if you create a design at the nominal size? So here I have a design, just a simple circle being cut out of some aluminum. Now I've created that with a nominal size of 4.9213 inches or 125 millimeters. And I've already actually done that cut on my machine. So out there at the machine, that cut has been made, and you can see some stair-stepped edges and a little bit of roughness, and I want to clear that up. But I can't do that with the normal allowance, because the whole idea behind the allowance is that you do that beforehand. So how can I do this? Okay, so what I did is this. I take my toolpath and I duplicate it. So I've got a copy of that toolpath, and I'm going to uncheck the old one from the visibility profile so you no longer see it. And I'm going to zoom in so we can see what happens here. So I'm going to double click to edit this toolpath. I'm going to edit the number of passes, make it just one pass now, because I want to create a toolpath to shave those edges that I've got. And then allowance offset, if I do a positive value, well, that doesn't, that's not going to help me. But they allow you to actually create a negative value for your offset. So now if I calculate that, we can look and see the toolpath there. Now, question is that cutting out more material, or is it going the opposite way? And we can see, if we look really closely, because we're only talking about 1,000th of an inch here, if we look really closely, we can see our two toolpaths there. The first one is the original toolpath, circle inside left, and we can see that the circle inside left duplicate is to the inside of that, or the outside, depending on how you look at things, and that's closer to the edge that we're cutting, because in this part that we're cutting here, we're actually keeping what you see inside here. So the circle is an inside cut, and everything here is what's going to actually be kept. Okay, so anyway, that's the secret. Use a negative allowance on an offset when you've already cut the shape at its nominal size and you want to shave the edges and clean it up a little more. And I hope this helps you get more out of V-Carve Pro for your routing